Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here. And we have a bit of a stalemate out in the western desert. Looks like we're holding the line sufficiently, and I've moved in my better divisions, and the Italians, you know what we're going to do? We're actually going to take these guys and send them back to Sicily to reduce the supply problem. But I'm keeping my good German divisions and some Italian divisions up at the front. So they withdrew back here, and they're having supply issues. I'm learning and hoping, doing better on this mod. I am building a Benghazi supply hub here. So we're getting that done to help out instead of building what we also really need, of course, is more rubber. So synthetic plants would be good. Narrowed it down to high-ranking officers because they were coveted by them. Very interesting. That could be. Like I say, turns out as well as they were contracted with America, the Mauser company ran a smear campaign against Craig. How interesting. Yeah, Eric is talking about the use of Craig Jorgensen's in the Boer War. And I was looking at it. It was looking like photos that I was seeing, just a few of them, looked like they were either using, well, the cartridges in their cartridge belts, and they were doing the sort of what I think of as the Mexican thing is, having a leather belt with lots of loops and single rounds stuck in there, as opposed to trying to having cartridge belts or whatever that are holding stripper clips. They were, I think, either tubular magazines, because I couldn't necessarily tell from some of the photos, or they were single shot magazines, but they definitely did not have the depth below them to have like a cartridge, built-in cartridge box on it. Magazine is what we would, for like a stripper clip. So maybe, they're looking like maybe Mauser, 1870s era or 1880s era Mausers, maybe, but some of those kind of things. So yeah, if that's what a lot of foot soldiers were still using those, bolt action would be a magazine fed bolt action would be a desirable weapon to have. But yeah, like I was saying, we have a significant rubber problem. Now, how to deal with this in this game? There's several ways that you could and should deal with this. One would be to obviously increase, which we are, the synthetic rubber. Two would be to not do what I've done here. What I've done here is have one production line of fighters, and so they're hogging up all of this rubber instead of having multiple production lines, which would have been better, I think, so that you can have some that are in full production and maybe some that are in less production. Because right now, they're getting a little bit, so it's not none. These are none right now. None. Damage factories. So let's move. Let's give the damage factories to somebody who's not producing anything. That would be a smarter move. Germany had a severe rubber shortage. Germany also produced a lot of vehicles, including tanks. Tanks had, generally speaking, rubber tires on their wheels. Because you got to remember, tanks roll on tracks. These are rolling on tracks. So these have You can't really. These have rubber wheels on them, so they use rubber, but they're not using here. So aircraft, yeah, aircraft use rubber, but I don't know if it's how much. How much is it per aircraft? One. I guess you can't do less than one. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's maybe a bit too restrictive. One thing that determined was that out of all the rifles, Boris used the Krag's was most accurate of them all. Interesting. Interesting. I did not know that. I'm not sure. Because I thought the Mausers they used were very accurate, but again, I don't know. I haven't looked into it or shot them all or whatever. Okay, let's do some research here. Too many days. Okay, fuel. We're doing decent with fuel. Rubber should be a restricting element, but I don't know. We are in 41, so radar or no, here I think is what we want to do here. Yes. Efficiency gaps. Okay, Mannlichers were more accurate than Mausers. The Austrian ones, you mean? Well, okay. That's, that's very hard to test, and I don't know what people are looking at when you make these determinations. And I'm not saying you're wrong, Arno or Eric or yeah, some of the Smith Rubens, yeah. If counting spare wheels for airplanes, it's probably plausible as they had high tear on wheels when landing. Yeah, beam slam, but then they would also recycle that rubber. Because you can recycle rubber. So if all of the well, okay, now there would be rubber left on the runway used up. So I don't know. Because to my understanding, the use of rubber on, well, there would be some stuff in like oxygen masks would probably have rubber and whatnot for some of the airplanes, and then the wheels would be rubber, and then seals in the engines and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of had high tear on the wheels. Yeah, on landing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess what I'm concerned about here is, you can't have less than one rubber per thing. Okay, per factory unit. We are building currently 5 aircraft a day with all of these factories. Is that the right production level? I think they're producing a hell of a lot more aircraft per day. And I don't, how big of a production level, let's see, what's that? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 factories worth. So every 10 factories are producing an aircraft a day here, factory production levels. Whatever you want to, because obviously one building could be bigger, it doesn't matter really, but so you would need this. Okay, so is there 40 here? Whatever. Well, no, it's using 40. It wants 50. So should you? Because obviously each factory minimum has to do is rubber. That seems like an awful lot of rubber to me. as in comparisons to how much the tanks use, which aren't using any rubber in this game, how much the trucks use for all of their tires. And I know, I guess you can't have a half. So what you need to do is either reduce or either increase the amount of aircraft you produce with a single factory, or you need to like double the number of rubber in the game, but have aircraft use only one. So it's in essence you still, these 50 aircraft would only need 25, currently effective 25 rubber. So I think it's over requiring it, I think. Self-healing rubber tanks. Yes, that's the Americans had those. I don't know, did the Germans? I know the Japanese did not. The Americans had them. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not an aircraft expert on these things. Hello, M&M Vest on Alt. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Brits had rubber tank. Okay, yeah, and I think the Germans. Yeah. You don't think the Germans had it? Yeah. So, and that would be something. Self-sealing tanks or not would be something that you could introduce for about the rubber. So, you know. Trust me, guys. There's lots and lots. I'm doing great. There's lots I don't know about World War II. Trust me. I mean, I know a lot. I count myself as a minor expert of all my research and studies on all of it. But there's lots of areas I just don't know, and so I'm just trying to think on how best to simulate this very real problem. Excuse me, hiccuping a bit. This very real problem. But is, I don't know, is overly crippling my aircraft production, in my opinion. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to grab this and move this down. This will change priorities. And this may be what I should be doing here. Now, well, let's move it below half tracks even. Okay, now we get half tracks in production at least. Now we have, and now we have an 5,000 is a lot. Now I do know that I really haven't looked into it, is supplying supplies to areas, trucks, just for the logistics element. So I've been building lots of trucks, and I'm going to keep, I guess, doing so. I don't know if I'm probably overbuilding. Oh, we still have more things to move this below. Okay, there we go. Now we're into no trucks being produced. Okay, let's go to there, which will free up factories for other things, like Panzer IVs, Panzer IIIs somewhere in here, I think, as well, don't we? Your Panzer IIIs in production. Wow. Yeah, we do right here. Okay. Wow, I was looking all around, not seeing that. Okay. Yeah, some of this is silly. Some of this is just silly. That's how I'm going to do it. Did search for heavies, research for heavies. Yeah, not a bad idea. We currently, this is sort of our heavy tank line right now. Once we get to here, then we can move over to the Tigers and whatnot. But this is heavy tanks right now, so we are producing some. Tigers never disappointing. Very true. Very true. Yeah, I don't know. I think they have a too high of a rubber requirement for some units here. But it takes a lot to try to balance that out. But we need more fighters. The air war. There you go. Now back over here because I'm constantly juggling. Okay, we've declared war on, or they have declared war on Greece, and I've made some preparations for that by having a few divisions sitting over here that Italy gave me. And we have all of these guys over here, so let's move them, these infantry divisions, up to there. You guys go that way. Yeah, all of you guys, yeah, you come over here now. Not issue 2 orders at once. Yeah, that's the problem. Like I say, I hate this whack-a-mole thing. I want to just... Oh, well, you guys stop doing whatever. I just want to base them and say operate out of this base, and then whatever's in range, attack it. Okay, Fallschirmjäger divisions, nice. Do preparations for researching heavy tigers. So we wanted to come into this port, not at the one at the front line, so that we would be better organized when we get to the front line. How's our construction going? Okay, so getting there. Okay, fuel refining improved. Very, very good. That will definitely help with our fuel situation, but we also need to deal with production here. That's still way too far in advance to go for right now, but we can push into here. Increase output. Keep the Romanian oil. Yeah. Oil is not my problem. Oil is not right now my problem. Not that it won't become a problem, but it's rubber is my problem. Rubber. For some reason now we're negative steel because of whatnot. Okay. Reactivate core steel mill. Yes. How are we doing for war or economic fatigue? Down at 51%. So let's see. Pause. How much this? 6%. Okay, we'll exploit Belgium for. Thanks for following. Do appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you, Arno. Fully occupied 1 building slots. Yeah. Don't know that we need building slots so much at the moment. Reduce. No, we're not reducing. Rebalance the industries. Okay, we could do that as well. Back here. We'll attack here. Here with these guys. Keep them from shifting too many forces down this way. Fast enough. You. We're going to attack with 3 divisions. That way, and we're going to attack up that way with the other 2. Or the 3, I should say. Okay, well that's, let's see. Okay, we want to go back over here to make sure all of 1941's and well, we could do that. Hello, Tariq. Good to have you here from Turkey. And hello, Vermilion. 1, 2, 3. Rommel in Greece. Well, yeah, stop the Nazis. Yes. Rommel is commanding in the Mediterranean. Now, he also has some infantry divisions as well as some Italian divisions. Well, let's give him these Italian divisions here as well. Why would it be good to have Rommel commanding in Greece, Vermilion? Do you know of a reason why Rommel would be actually a very good commander in Greece? It's that is wrong with the current Rommel character? Well, in no war, Hearts of Iron would just be a sort of boring game, I would think. Desert Fox and Cold Mountains. Okay, but you see, you guys don't, you know who was Rommel? Who was Rommel? You speak Turkish. Cool. Yeah, I don't. He earned the Blue Max, the Pour le Mérite, the highest Prussian award you could get, though it was called in a French name, the Pour le Mérite. Why did he get the and that was issued in World War I. Why did he get that? I forget the name of the mountain, because he conquered a mountain here in Italy. The first guy up, his unit was the first unit to take the top of the mountain. He was a mountain trooper. He was in the Bavarian mountain unit for most of World War I, fighting in the mountains in Italy, fighting in the mountains in Romania. He was a mountain officer. If you've ever read Rommel's book, yes, Beamslam, as Beamslam is saying, Rommel was a good, so Rommel was, you would have presumed, because his book, Infantry Attacks, I've read it 4 or 5 times. I used to carry it in my car, whenever I was like waiting for something, I just pick it up and read it. I'd read it already through once, but just slowly reread it again and again. And it talks all about his, at the beginning of World War I, he's part of the Schlieffenplan movement. He's, gets wounded out in the, hills and plains out here in, the Low Countries. But after he recovers from that, he's sent out, he's transferred to a different Bavarian unit and in a mountain division, and fights in Romania in the mountains, and then in the Italian Alps here through the rest of the war. He is one of the best mountain officers, and would have probably, if he didn't get, why is he a Panzer General? Because he gets put in charge of the Army's protection squad for Hitler. There's also the SS protection squad, but there was also an Army one. He's in charge, so he gets to know Hitler, and he starts talking to Hitler, and basically sort of, hey, I would be a great guy commanding a Panzer division. I'd be a great guy commanding a Panzer division. If I commanded a Panzer division, I would do this, I would do that. And he talks it up with Hitler. So when they're forming not the good German equipped Panzer divisions, but one of the Panzer divisions that they were equipping with Czech tanks, considered to be not as good as the German tanks. All right, give that promote Colonel Rommel up to general, and give him that division. We'll see how he does. It's sort of as an experiment, because he's well known from his book as being an infantry officer, being a mountain officer. But they give him a Panzer division, and he does excellently through France. So he becomes, the Ghost division, because it's moving around, no one knows where it is. He does excellently with tanks, but he doesn't, to the best of my knowledge, really go through a lot of the Panzer training schools of how to be like a company commander in Panzers. He's just given the job, and he does very well with it, but he's not like gone through like a bunch of the Panzer commanders that mid-late war generals have gone through all of the schools and how to do the stuff. He does it instinctively. So yeah, Rommel is, I know who Ataturk is. He's the founder of modern day Turkey, for sure. He's the one of the young Turks who overthrows the last of the Ottoman Empire. So he very much would look on paper to be commanding a mountain division, but he gets his Panzer division, does very well. So he should, their traits. No, I want to come click here. Their traits. He should have start off with Mountaineer. He's earning it now, but it should be one of his starting ones. Should be more so than the Desert Fox or any other trait he should have. It should be a Mountain General. So he'd be the perfect one to fight in Greece, because he knows both modern war, panzers and maneuver, as well as mountain warfare. Also, if you didn't know, Rommel was a pilot. He used to fly alone over the desert in a Storch, one of those little Friesler Storch. That's a naval bomber. One of these sort of guys. Not maybe exactly that model, but a little reconnaissance Friesler Storch. He would fly alone over it, over the desert to scout out his plans of attack and looking for the enemy. So he wasn't a fighter pilot or anything like that, but just your sort of basic pilot. A little bit into Turkish history, not that I'm any expert on it. Panzer 38Ts, yes. Hello, Total Hell. It's close. Black Ice is also close. I have, you know, I can talk a lot of problems, and I bring up the problems with the as I see it, the history here. But it is one of the more accurate. I don't know if it's the most accurate, but it is more than most that I've found, or area or other people found for me. Why did you stop attacking? I didn't say stop attacking there. Push down into there. Okay, so we'll do improved enigma. Maybe time to do that now. Do I have enough divisions and whatnot to invade the Soviet Union this spring? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's add a few more divisions in training. We've got a lot of political power. Okay, permit foreign recruitment. Okay, so we need to permit foreign recruitment to get some of those. Refit motorized divisions. Need to have at least one division in West Berlin. Oh, West Berlin there? Oh, that's East Berlin. What am I thinking? Oh, the west one's on the far side. Yes. Does that allow it to happen? Yes, motor division. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we'll be... Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa. Okay, active effects when removed. Yes. Refitted with it most... Oh, okay, no, so we have to move this division. How clever. Okay, we have to move this unit here, which currently is an infantry division. So what we need to do is come send you here. Very cool. Okay, now we get you out. Let's move this battery here to the east. No, I don't speak Turkish, not at all. I'm from California, Los Angeles area. Let's see what we should research now. Heavy flak. No, we could do some. cartridge there. We probably should make some rockets. That might help us out. Okay, well, let's think about that. Let's look at producing some rocket systems here. They don't require rubber. No, we don't want to create a variant. I just want to put these into production. Now, let's up here, make sure they get the steel that they might need. Over submarines. Okay, do that. How are we on? Go down by 5, which will help out the rocket production. So get some. Oh, we need more. What can, I don't know, any of you out there tell me what the hell you need tungsten for in a rocket? Please, somebody. What do you need tungsten for in a rocket? Yeah, an actual, not in the machinery to make it, but in the actual. I would say you don't need any tungsten of any significant amounts. That's why you have rockets. That's why they liked rockets. Because rockets didn't require you to have rocket barrels. I mean, yeah, I mean, some of them were tube launched, but they're not like, you know, proper gun barrels that are set up to do high stresses. So that sucks. That sucks. The only reason we're going down in the needs of trucks is because, or is rubber, is because we've reduced our needing for that. For the bling bling, yeah, no, that's German rockets are some of the more complicated rockets, but I still don't think them consuming tungsten to make it. This is what aggravates me on these things. You attack there to pin all those forces while we flank around to the other side. You attack there, and you two attack up that way. Hey, Road Manor, how you doing? If there's anybody new here, you can hit the subscribe button on YouTube or the follow button on Twitch. And everybody on YouTube, if you haven't already, hit the like button. It does sort of help with YouTube and the algorithm. We've just won there. Okay, the better division starts marching straight for Athens. Oh, they gotta go all the way down there. No, you stay right there. Unpause. You support the attack. You guys attack into there. 12 Island, don't quite get that reference.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Befehle. Ausrücken.
There to deal with their counterattack.
Befehle. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Achtung. Achtung. Ausrücken. Achtung.
Actually, well, you join in, I guess. Okay, well, we got Athens. Pushing towards Thessaloniki. Thessalonica, however you want to say it. Okay, you don't need to keep following them. You come down this way. We'll go down to here.
Ihre Befehle.
Back or whatever.
Befehle. Zeigt es ihnen. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
Want to cut me off? No, 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 no. We're getting shore bombard, yeah. Eh.
Zuhören. Achtung. Los, los, los.
Okay, we're down here. Good, you come that way.
Angetreten. Befehle.
Good, hospitals, yay. Better hospitals, nice. Okay, let's go with the Panzer 3L.
Ihre Befehle.
Okay, improved Enigma, good. Encryption bonus, nice. Okay, let's now finally go for... Now let's do foreign recruitment here.
Zuhören.
Now, attack there.
Befehle.
What's that attack? Demand tigers. Well, we're not there yet, Arno. Not yet.
Bereit. Achtung. Achtung.
The reason I'm attacking up here, even though it's so bad, was just to keep them from reinforcing down into here.
Achtung.
Now they're coming to there. That's good. With India movement. India calls for independence have intensified lately. Now things have come to a head as the radical Quit India movement has called for the United Kingdom to leave the country as soon as possible. British authorities were quick to react, however, and have cracked down on the movement, arresting several leaders in dawn raids on homes across India. Reports prepared by Special Branch indicate that many sympathizers are still at large, however, and many in the civil service have expressed fears that more extreme elements of the movement may even resort to violence. Okay. What do I want to say about this? I totally understand why any nation would want to be independent from the English, being an American. There were lots of Indians that saw the value of British governance. I think I want to put it that way. Had they not seen the value of British governance, Britain would not control the dominion of India. You know, really sort of late 1700s. It's really sort of locked in. But this is a unhistorical map in that there are many, we'll call them puppet states, might be the correct term. And there were three different areas in India controlled by forgetting the exact word. One was from Bombay, one was from Calcutta, and the other one was this is Bombay. No, Madras. Yeah, Madras down here. So Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta were the sort of the three main regions that administered the British-controlled parts of India. Presidencies, I think they were called. And then plus there was also, which sort of wasn't, it depends at what time you're talking about, is a different sort of setup for Burma. But we can sort of forget about Burma for the moment. And then there were lots of principalities and other minor sort of puppet states going on in Britain. Britain really sort of, I mean, there's pre-Clive, but Clive of India, a British general, is really the British general who really sets, and that's sort of early 18th century, really sets up the start of British rule over large areas of India. And even with the Indian Mutiny that's put down, Britain cannot rule all of India unless India is willing to let itself be ruled. I think British governance, 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 I think Br and I've talked about this in different times a lot, really is a thing that the world hadn't experienced before, or governance like Britain. There is definitely corrupt elements of it, but compared to a lot of the rest of the world, Britain is trying to get rid of corruption. And there is corruption in Britain. There's corruption in the British Empire. Absolutely. There's corruption everywhere. Power corrupts. But in Britain, it's a lot less. It really is. Yeah, Arno wants to fuck Britain. Yeah, fine. And they really start out with this idea of reforming government to get rid of corruption. So the Indians really get, I think, a lot of benefit out of British governance, as well as, shall we say, modern bureaucracies, modern institutions that Britain brings to it. So, you know, if they wanted to rebel and just go up, nothing Britain could do to stop it. You even look at the Indian Mutiny. I don't know if any of the princely states, we Dutch have a bad history. Well, I would say you have I thought you ruled Britain for a while, didn't you? The Dutch? I seem to remember a Dutch king ruling Britain. William of Orange. He ruled Britain for you know, a good chunk of his life. So I thought you liked English. And so, you know, I don't think, again, I'm not a big scholar on the British mutiny, or the Indian mutiny under Britain. Now, part of the problem with the Indian mutiny is I mean, there's some underlying factors for sure, but it was also a sort of something of a Russian-supported, you know, disinformation campaign and others to create revolt. Well, I like most English, just not the royals. Just not the royals. So are you objecting to the German monarchy of modern-day Britain, or the old British monarchy, or when the Dutch were the monarchs of Britain? I don't know. Sort of don't know what you're talking about there. Probably the modern German monarchy you don't like. Okay. So, you know, it isn't supported by the you know, the princely states, and the sort of, some are rather independent, some are rather puppet states. Most of them, so long as they stayed within certain bounds, they got to do what they wanted to do, what they wanted internally. You know, they couldn't go fight their neighbors. They couldn't foment rebellion. But there's a lot of Indians that really see the benefit to British rule. Now, Gandhi is an interesting person, the guy pictured mostly naked there. He is a lawyer. And to be a lawyer, you've got to go to what? Oh, a British school. And so he's part of the system. He travels to South Africa, and he doesn't like the racism he encounters in South Africa. Now, Gandhi's a bit of a racist himself. He thinks himself superior than the African, but equal to the Englishman or whatever when he gets thrown off a train, and that sort of starts him down the road of anti-Britishness, because he's so much part of the British ruling elite. He leaves India to go administer other parts of Britain's colonies and rejects it eventually. And I've seen some interviews, because there's a huge amount of modern day Britons that are Indians, but they are, many of them, I don't know if most of them, because most means more than half, but many of them are the Indians that administered the British Empire all over the British Empire. And when the British Empire fell apart, instead of going back to India, they went to Britain. And so these are, you know, Anglified Indians. And so Gandhi is an Anglified Indian. He speaks English. He knows English so well he becomes a lawyer in the English system. And so he's one of those. Now again, he fights for independence. I think it's about 30 to 50 years too soon for the good of India, the Quit India movement. Now, why is the Quit India movement happening now? Well, a couple of reasons. A few reasons. One, World War I really exhausts the British Empire significantly. World War II, right now, Britain is in desperate situations. They're not yet at war with Japan, but they're in desperate situations, so they know it's weak. So they're preying upon a weak empire to achieve independence. And I think if it wasn't for the being gutted in World War I and then even worse under World War II, Britain probably would have been around controlling India for about another 30 or so years, 20 or 30 years. But just sort of my thoughts quickly on India. Let's continue our conquest down here. Okay, armored cars and that. Okay, well, let's do some research. We're getting ready to do more research. Okay, Panzer IVs. Okay, we're now, let's see, 41. Yeah, I like this. Condors. Cool airplane. Okay. You support that, attack it to there. Well, maybe, but right now we have more invested in 109, so I don't know that we need two lines of production right now. Just sort of a hassle to do. We're having enough problems with rubber and whatnot. Oh, well, that might be an interesting thing. Let me see. Okay, it needs one rubber. I was wondering if one of these somehow could use less or more rubber. I don't know. They're about the same, so not a good enough reason to change at the moment. Well, Arno, it would be a massive disruption to switch over. It would be a massive disruption, so I don't really want to switch over. We're having enough problems with aircraft as it is now, because we go from 6 a day to like 1 a day or less, and take half a year to get up there. It just isn't worth it. Just is not worth it. Even if they are better. I don't know that they are. Better, that is. Oh, you... I wanted you to support the attack, not join it. You moved it all the way out down to Heraklion. Yeah, I don't think you'd do that. Would you? Well, let's build some. Do we have any heavy flak guns in production already? Because I know we need some more. I don't know that we have any in production. No. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Arno. It just I don't want to mess with my production lines right now.
Ihre Befehle? Zuhören! Achtung! Angetreten! Angetreten! Ausrücken! Bereit! Angetreten! Achtung! Angetreten! Bereit zum Ausrücken!
Doing with her. Okay, we got the increased supplies coming through here. At the supply hub now. Can we? Let's see. Build. Those railways. Yeah, well, in time maybe.
Befehle!
Hopefully, if we take this last thing, it'll be. I know we don't have that other capital directly on, but
Befehle!
still got to surrender at some point. Come on, guys.
Bereit!
Also way out here. Okay, well. Well, I think we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. Really do appreciate it. And we'll be back next time with even more, yes, more Hearts of Iron.